going on, Who Dat Nation? Before we get into this mailbag, if I missed your question or if you weren't able to tune into the mailbag during our live show, feel free to ask me your questions or share your hot takes on Twitter or on Instagram. It's at Trace Girouard 48. The comments and description of this video are going to have links to my account. So just to make it easy for you, give me a follow and help me out, grow my following, and hit me up so we can talk ball. Randy the Legend Lemoyne, just so everyone's aware of this, Randy decided, hey, I'm going to drop in a $100 super chat. And then on top of that, just because, I love the Saints and because I'm just that much of an animal, a 50. So here we go. One question, please. If we do well in the draft to the best we can, will Carr get us there? Do you believe that? I believe that Derek Carr can run the offense and lead the Saints offense to the playoffs. Now, where it gets difficult for me is in the postseason, how far he can take us once you're there. Derek Carr has one game in his entire career that he's played in the postseason, and it didn't go the way you would want it to. That being said, if the Saints can get their offensive line figured out and they can have their defense humming and they can have offensive weapons that are lethal and exciting, and Klint Kubiak's offense is what we hope it can be, the sky's the limit for the Saints. It really is. I don't know if a Super Bowl is in their future, but I do think that this is a playoff caliber team, especially with I think, a little bit above average quarterback in Derek Carr. All right, let's go to Nico Canada. $50 super chat. Nico. First things first, congratulations on your wedding. It was last weekend. Congratulations, Nico. Everyone clap it up for a legend here. How would you feel how would you feel if 14 and 45 was offensive line? So in my head, either 14 or 45 needs to be offensive line. Or both. I don't hate it. But I also don't dislike the idea of going, let's say Brock Bowers in round 1 and then an offensive tackle in round 2. Or let's say Olu Fashanu or Talisi Fuanga in round 1. But then a Ricky Pearsall or a Malachi Corley or a Malik Washington or a Keon Coleman or somebody like that in round 2. So I wouldn't hate it if both two picks were offensive linemen, but I would lose my freaking mind if the Saints didn't pick an offensive lineman with either of those. There's just no way in hell they can't do that. But Nico, thank you for your question. Short answer, I'd be happy, but I also wouldn't mind a pass catcher. Kyle, for the draft, plan A is pick Bowers at 14 and at 45 pick Stanley Morgan. Plan B, pick Olu Fashanu at 14 and pick 45 Keon Coleman or Malachi Corley. I like plan B better. I think you mean Jordan Morgan, the offensive tackle out of Arizona. Stanley Morgan is actually a wide receiver that was with the Bengals. He grew up in the Louisiana area. He was a St. Augustine grad, I believe. And then he is now with the Saints. He signed in free agency. But I can see what you mean, Kyle. I'm going option B. I just really like Olu Fashanu, and I really like the idea of getting a Yak King like Malachi Corley in round 2. I really like that option for me. But thank you for the question and appreciate the super chat. Dr. John! Can the Saints trade for Courtland Sutton? I saw he had some trade rumors. Yeah, I saw some stuff online as well. He didn't report to the first day of voluntary activities and whatnot for Denver. Could he get traded? Yeah, more than likely. I don't think the Saints are in the market for a trade for a wide receiver. But if they were to go and get one, I would say a Courtland Sutton much more likely than a T. Higgins, for example. Worth noting, the Denver to New Orleans pipeline is very real. There hasn't been a lot on the pipeline from Denver to New Orleans, more from New Orleans to Denver, but we'll see how things pan out. I'm not crazy about a Courtland Sutton trade. I'd rather just go and draft somebody new, but hey, I don't hate the idea that much really at all. So sound off for me, Saints fans. Would you trade for Courtland Sutton? Just give me a T for trade or a P for pass in the comment section, and let me know what you think down below. And on top of that, if you want to be a part of our next mailbag, we go live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Time, and we break down the latest news and rumors, and we do these Q&As live every single time. The best way to be a part of it is if you subscribe and you tune into our live coverage. That's pretty much the only way. Outside of here and there, I'll take some comments in our videos. But if you want to get in, you got to be subscribed. That is my only caveat. So, Queen Courtney, how mad would Trace be if we traded up for Bo Nix? Let me put it this way. I would probably delete my channel. I just don't get it with Bo Nix. I don't see it. I don't understand it. I don't think Bo Nix is that good. I can understand why people might want a Bo Nix because they're a quarterback-needy team. I don't even want it a little bit. No thank you on Bo Nix. I will gladly pass there. But Queen Courtney, I'd be really mad. Mikey Taylor, what if you could trade up to get Joe Alt at 7 and then use pick 14 for Brock Bowers? Now, the idea, I would love the idea. I think that would be the best draft ever. But realistically, you're not trading up to get Joe Alt without trading 14 away. So you're getting one or the other. If I had to pick between the two, I'm trading up for Joe Alt. That's just me. But guys, before we keep this thing moving and before I answer some more questions, I got to give a big-time shout-out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. They've got some specials for new and returning users for NBA playoffs, for the NHL playoffs, for all sorts of sports. And here's the thing. They also have season-long projections. They have player projections. They have all sorts of sports, esports, racing, golf. Like, it is amazing. And in terms of projection that I rolled with, I'm not a huge MLB guy. Like, I like watching it, but football's my bread and butter. So I wanted to do a season-long projection of Kirk Cousins, less than 4,099 passing yards. Christian McCaffrey, more than 5 receiving touchdowns. And CJ Stroud, more than 26.5 passing touchdowns. I think that these are all really, really good projections, and I can win some real money in real time. So PrizePicks is simple. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. So you can get started today if you haven't already at prizepicks.com/CLNS. And you plug in that promo code CLNS to get a first-time deposit match of $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Shout out to PrizePicks. All that information is in the comment section and description of this video. All right, KT the Southern Gent. Who are your draft gems? Okay, so this is actually a fun one. Okay. Jaylen Green out of James Madison. Dude's a freaking beast. I love his production. 15.5 sacks last year for the Dukes. I also like Luke McCaffrey. I think that could be a fun one. The Rice wide receiver. Brother of Christian McCaffrey also. Dylan Laube. I really like the idea of Dylan Laube. I'm trying to think of just some other like random ones that I haven't really talked a ton about. Marshawn Nealand would be a good one. Trajan Jeffcoat out of Arkansas. The Saints actually met with him in the latest reports on X and on Twitter and whatnot. Jalen Simpson, another draft gem for me, the safety out of Auburn. I think that he could be he could fill a position in need. Malachi Corley, but I feel like he's not a gem because everyone knows who he is. Jaquan Jackson out of Tulane. It's another solid one. But this is your chance. Who's a draft gem in your eyes? All right, number boy, the most loud person on social media. Would you sign Mekhi Becton in free agency, obviously? Let me see how the draft shakes out. And here's what I'll say. Even with the Saints more than likely drafting an offensive tackle in round 1, I'm still kind of iffy on a Mekhi Becton. I mean, the best season that he's had was his rookie year, and since then, it's kind of gone downhill. I mean, look at the PFF numbers last year. Now, granted, he played almost 1,000 snaps, so, hey, the best ability is availability. But do we want 18 penalties? Really? Do we want 30 hurries? 8 hits? Like, this dude gave up double-digit sacks. Like, I'm okay. I'd personally pass on Mekhi Becton. Now, if he's like a backup to compete with the rookie, maybe just as like an insurance policy, but by no means am I running to Mekhi Becton's agent with a check in hand saying, you need to be a Saint. All right, Kyle with the next question. What will Derek Carr look like now with Klint Kubiak as the offensive coordinator? So I think that the offense, we're going to see a lot more of a zone read type of offense. You're going to be able to see a lot more movement in terms of the receivers and the running backs and pre-snap motion and even during the play itself. And I think that for Derek Carr specifically, it's going to be helpful to him because it's going to be a quarterback-friendly system where he can dump the ball off. He has a quick read. He has quick read 1, quick read 2, quick read 3. It's going to 2. If this guy's not open, okay, I know this guy's open. If this guy over here isn't open, I know my tight end's going to be available. Like, I think that you're going to have a more quarterback-friendly offense, and I think that we're going to be able to see a little bit better and more efficient passing. I just want to see it in a full game. I don't want to see it in the fourth quarter when we're down by 14. I want to see it a full game. So hopefully, Klint Kubiak's offense can keep the thing rolling all game. Jeremy Gates, who is that one guy that you really want the Saints to draft? He's not an offensive lineman. Who is a guy that's not on the own line? Okay, I said Jaylen Green as a late round pick in the first round. Brock Bowers, I think. I think Brock Bowers. That's a player I'd really like. Wild card, Laiatu Latu. I would love Laiatu Latu. Not a realistic pick for the Saints just because they added Chase Young, but that would be a really fun selection. I think he's a damn good player. Maverick, let's see what you got to say. Who's a good later round wide receiver that we could steal? Luke McCaffrey. I mentioned him a little bit ago. He's the brother of Christian McCaffrey. I think that he could go anywhere in that 5th, 6th round area, and he is a quarterback turned wide receiver. He is part of the McCaffrey family, and I was going to say this, the football families are all pretty good. The Kelseys, the Watts, there's a couple of them for you. The St. Browns, the world. Equanimous, not as much as Amon-Ra, but still, you know what I'm saying? Go get the bloodline, keep it moving. I really like Luke McCaffrey. I think that he could be a really, really good addition for the Saints. Guys, one more reminder. If you didn't get a chance to ask your question or if we missed your question, give me a follow on Trace Girouard 48 on X, formerly known as Twitter. Feel free to send me a DM. I'm not too cool where I won't reply to your DMs. I actually do enjoy chopping it up with you guys. Tweet at me, DM me, hit me up, and y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.